Not only did the English Open give us some great shots, we also got a lot of what appear to be trick shots. Despite this, however, we're still looking for the best shot, and as usual we're going to be finding it by recreating all of them as accurately as possible and then playing them in the fewest possible attempts. But we begin with tournament winner Neil Robertson, and this opening red in the final. It led to a 75 break and eventually a 7-1 session lead. It's good to see Neil back to winning ways after dropping out of the top 16 last season, and it's also good to get this on my first attempt. Well, that's a pretty good start, so I think we're safe to attempt something a little bit more challenging, like this red down the cushion from Mink Nutcharut, who for some reason apologises for getting this shot, and I'm not sure why, because I can't see what else you'd be playing on this. It's very unlikely you'll pot a shot like this down the cushion, as my first attempt shows. It didn't really seem like I could have got any closer to that one, and it still didn't go in. But I can't see where else you would be playing the red, other than towards the jaws of the pocket, so I'm calling this as a good shot. Mink didn't end up winning this frame in the end, but still managed to take the match, before losing out to Ricky Walden in the next round. And after all that, I still can't pot this red.
Come on.
All of the shots that keep rattling like that look absolutely perfect to me, and I don't know what I've got to do to actually pot it. Thankfully, it's gone in the end.
Got it.
And there may still be some harder shots than this one. A trick shot now from Mark Selby, after the match is already won. He uses his knowledge of the angles after finishing out of position to pot the brown off 2 cushions. This is going to be really tough to get the side spin right and make the correct contact. Especially because the white has to go across the brown in order to pot it, which for some reason always seems to make the shot harder. I can't quite get the right angle, but it's going to be a bit of a lottery. Eventually I'm just going to hit one that goes in, and I really wasn't expecting it to be that soon. That's pretty good. A well-cued shot from Luca Brecel now, who pots this long red and screws the cue ball all the way back to the bulk line, helping him to defeat Anthony Hamilton by 4 frames to 3. It feels like I can just about get away with this shot with a regular cue ball. Well, that hasn't exactly gone to plan, and worst of all, that was caused by my tip splitting in half rather than me actually miscuing the shot, which caused me to have to find a new tip, stick it on again, and then try to play the shot with almost a brand new tip. And this has made things even harder than it was in the first place, and will almost certainly do so for the rest of the shots, as my hastily stuck on tip hasn't had time to bed in yet. I've managed to get away with this one, so let's see what I can do with the rest of the shots. Yize was having a great week, and this crucial long green in the 5th frame against Judd Trump helped him win the frame and then eventually go on to win the match. I'm going to struggle a little bit with this one because of my new tip, so let's see how I can do. Well, I got close enough to fluke it on my first attempt, but it's proving a little bit difficult to control at the moment, and I'm not sure how quickly I would have got this shot anyway, but it feels like it might have been about half of the attempts of this. 4's not bad under the circumstances, though. Ronnie's been a little bit unfortunate to finish out of position on this next shot, but still manages to pot the long blue. I can't remember the exact reason he's playing every shot left-handed at the moment, but I'm not going to try it given my current tip situation. Normally I'd expect to get a shot like this within 2 or 3 attempts, so we'll see exactly what happens here. I've just got to find the right angle, and I'm struggling a little bit because it feels like it's slightly sliding off my tip. That's pretty good though, it's similar to how Ronnie played it. Even though it doesn't look like Mark Allen's got much of a shot here, he still manages to find this 3-ball plant down the cushion, possibly helped by the red being close to the pocket, and this assisted him in winning the match, taking it 4-3 against John Higgins. This one's a little bit of a stretch, bearing in mind I'm not left-handed, but I can just about reach it, and it's gone in first time. I don't think this was actually that difficult, but a really good spot. Yize has got to the final, but is 3-0 down against Neil Robertson and looking a little bit out of it. He's potted a long red though and manages to split the reds off this yellow, giving himself a good chance. The shot itself is definitely thinner than it looks, and you have to get into the cue ball really well to hit the reds. I've got it first time and I'm in position, and I can't really argue with that. Mark Selby looks like he's finished out of position here, but still manages to hit this red thin enough to cut it in. So let's see if it's possible for me to hit this as thin as Mark played this shot. Well, as it turns out, it definitely is. In fact, it's possible to hit it a lot thinner. And this essentially is just a judgment shot. I've got to get the angle right and it should be all good. That looks like it, and we can move on to the next one. Aaron Hill finds a crucial double against Mark Selby now to get his first frame on the board. It's fairly straightforward, but came at a crucial time in the match, and Aaron was able to take another one as well before losing the match 4 frames to 2. I've got the angle right, and it's just about dropped in at the far jaw. And competing against that is this double from Yize, taking the lead against Judd Trump. Again, this one's fairly straightforward, and the fact that it's closer to the middle pocket this time should in theory make it even easier. It's just a simple stun down to the top cushion. Unfortunately, this time I've gone a little bit higher and caught the jaw, but corrected it on my second attempt. So which was the cheekiest double? Yize shot is about as simple as it gets, so only scores him 1, whereas Aaron Hill's shot is also for the frame, so he gets 3, and he's this week's winner. How about this for a snooker escape from Shaun Murphy now? Not only does he manage to hit the red, but he lands on it absolutely dead weight, and this was the only way of getting out of this snooker without leaving a pot on. Despite this, he still goes on to lose this frame against Neil Robertson and the match. So I'm just trying my best here to follow Shaun's line. I'm not that far out, and the weight is actually pretty good, although I'm going to have to get this absolutely perfect to land on the red. I just need to find the correct line though, because that was more or less exactly the right weight. Well, I can't believe I've actually done that. I thought I'd be there all day. Yize is 8-2 behind now in the final, and things aren't looking good for him, but there's a chance that this long red might start a comeback if he can get back down the table. So with this shot, not only do I need to pot this long red with right hand side, I also need to find the correct path back down the table. I've got it on my first attempt, but unfortunately I've cannoned into the black. I need to stun the cue ball slightly less than that and judge the side correctly to get through the gap, and that's definitely not going to be easy. I think this one's a hard enough shot that my tip isn't really going to matter that much, because it's a bit of a lottery whether or not I find the correct line to get back down the table. So if I just give it a few goes, then hopefully I should get it. Yes, I've managed it. It really wasn't easy to get all of those elements right, but I've somehow got through it, so let's move on. Before the next shot, let's just find Bob, who's in Calp, Spain, which is there. Mark Selby has gotten so close to getting the snooker here, but as he hasn't, Singh manages to cut it into the corner pocket, and the white makes its way onto the blue in a way he's able to clear up, win the frame and match, and get through to the semi-finals. He was fortunate to catch the middle jaw and finish in great position on the blue, but the clearance after that was excellent. I think the only difficulty with this shot is finding the correct angle and seeing what happens. I've got it, the white hasn't ended up in the correct place, which probably means I didn't quite set it up right. Against all odds, Yize makes it back from 8-7 in the final from 8-2 down and pots this long red, giving him a chance to get back level. Unfortunately for Wu, he wasn't able to make a frame-winning break, allowing Robertson to take the frame, match and well-deserved tournament win. Meaning that all that's left for me to do is pot this difficult red and screw the cue ball back across the table. I've got it, which means I can finally go back to sorting my tip out. Well, the good news is the new tip seems to be sorted and playing alright, and if you want to vote for your favourite shot, you can do so using the link in the description. And to see the best shots from previous tournaments, have a look at these two, including one that has Stephen Hendry in it. And remember, don't just watch, play, and make the commitment to becoming a better player by subscribing to the channel and visit the website. See you later.